Right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to Hump Day edition of Morning Scale presented by Brock, Badgers Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. All right, what a night. So, Baseball Tigers get a win last night in the Pono Classic, beat ULL. The Pelicans, late tip, stayed up and watched it. Actually, made a little money line play on the Pellies at halftime, and they get it done to steal home court advantage in their best of seven against the Suns. And LSU football lands a cornerback transfer from Ohio State. So, busy day all in all. Let's dive into all of it. We'll say some good mornings here. Big takeaway from the baseball game last night for me was Ty Floyd, who got the start. And Ty Floyd looked like the guy at the end of last year. One of the problems Ty Floyd had early this season was he was throwing exclusively fastballs. And you can't throw only fastballs against good hitters in the SEC. And it showed. He was snapping off breaking balls last night. 5 innings pitched, 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 8, did not walk anybody. So you give me 8 strikeouts over 5 innings, I'll take it. Really nice outing there by Floyd. Bryce Collins was good. Pitched an inning, struck out 2. Fontenot ran into a little bit of a bumpy patch there. And then Razelman came in and pitched the final 2 1/3. Got 3 strikeouts, didn't allow a hit or a walk. So LSU wins at 8-4. Bats got going a little bit. A lot of homers early in the game. Morgan, Thompson each homered. But a good night. Good night for LSU. 8 runs on 7 hits. I'll take it. So that all went well as you welcome in Missouri tomorrow. Pelicans get a win. What was fun, Devin Booker went off in the first half, scored 31 in the first half. You were only down 5 at halftime. And it was one of those things where you look and you go, all right, man, listen, you withstood their best punch. A 31-point half from their star player, and you're only down 5. And Brandon Ingram was awesome in the fourth quarter. So Brandon Ingram led the Pels to beat the Suns 125-114. And now you've taken over home court advantage in the series. So it'll be in New Orleans on Sunday in New Orleans. So let's see. Could be a great weekend, man. Zurich this weekend, French Quarter Fest, Pelicans at home against the Suns. Could be a great weekend here in the boot. And of course, LSU football landed a cornerback transfer from Ohio State. We kind of hinted at that possibility, but yeah, I knew that they were working on Seven Banks, and they ended up landing him. It fits the bill. Big, long corner. Started 15 games in his career at Ohio State, battled some injuries, looking for a fresh start, and let's go. So, all right, let's say some good morning, see what y'all got. Jeff McKiffin, good morning. Greg Phillips, Kyle Perez, with Devin Booker nursing an injury, Pels may have enough to make this really interesting. Well, Kyle, they've already made it more interesting than most thought. I thought they'd get a game in this series, but I thought it would be a home game. To go on the road and take back home court advantage, or to take home court advantage by beating the Suns in Phoenix, I didn't think they would do that. So I think they've already made it more interesting than a lot of people thought. Kelly Presley, good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. Jason Horn, Truax, what's good, man? Andrew Valenti, good morning. Let's go Pels. Friday at the Blender is going to be wild. You better believe that. Kirk Taylor, Ricky Lambert, Wayne Landry, good morning from Portland, Oregon. All right, man. Thanks for watching up there. Uncle Mike, what's good, man? Good to see you. Ron Ritchie, Kirk, let's talk some USFL. No, Kirk, we're not going to do that here. Kyle DeVille, Arthur Coco, what's up, what's up, what's up? Brian Wynn. Sam Dixon, Coach Kelly's quietly building his team. I like it. And listen, Sam, he's been adamant. I mean, this is not how he's going to build his roster moving forward. This was a necessity. I mean, they're at they're at 15 transfers. They took 15 high school players, and they're at 15 transfers. And they can still take 2 more, and I bet you, and they're going to fill those spots, by the way. Offensive line, tight end, they're going to fill those other 2 spots. So, yeah, man. This was out of necessity because Ed Ogeron left him a trash pile. And let's see what they got. All right. Trivia, what's good, man? Wendell Norman, D. Jesse Brown, morning, Matt. Saw Jarvis is visiting the Saints today. Do you think he signs? I'll put it to you. I don't know, Jesse. I don't know what he wants and what they're offering, but I'll put it to you this way. Okay, I love Jarvis Landry. Love him. One top 5 favorite LSU Tigers of all time. I don't think he's the type of receiver that the Saints need. They need a game breaker. So that's why I'm hoping they get Chris Olave, Jamison Williams, someone like that in the draft. Now, you get Jarvis as well. Awesome. Michael Thomas, Jarvis, and a receiver in this draft. Let's go. I would love it if Jarvis is in New Orleans, but if they sign Jarvis, they're not done at receiver, would be my point. And I'd say this about Jarvis as well. Because of the depth of receiver in this draft, he'd be wise to sign before the draft. Because if you go through this draft and Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Traylon Banks, Jamison Williams, George Pickens, John Dotson. I mean, there's so many receivers in this draft that there may be the market for Jarvis will cool after this draft. He would be wise to sign before the draft. Cliff Nelson, what's good? Rapping batches. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Jeez. Normally I just say Brandon. Actually, when did the whole thing that time, it's still ridiculous, but whatever. Glad to get the win, but how did Morgan not tear his hamstring stretching for all those bad throws? The other thing I'll say too, sometimes Morgan makes plays look fancier than they need to. He's got a lot of flair on the diamond. But anyway, Hunter Fournette, how about Floyd last night? Throwing 6 curveballs in a row. Yeah, I mean, and not only just throwing them, but throwing them for a strike. So if he can locate that pitch, Hunter, I mean, all of a sudden, his 94-95 is much more dangerous. So, yeah, that was encouraging. His struggles early this season were one of the more perplexing things to me. I mean, the defense, obviously, but as far as on the mound, I mean, Floyd and Coleman last year, I can remember when we were allowed to do companion shows. We're watching late in the season, the postseason last year. Floyd and Coleman were the 2 guys that we were looking at going, these are weekend guys. Coleman obviously has the UCL injury, so he's out for the year, and that's devastating because he was your best left-handed arm. But, Floyd starting the season, in your rotation, and then remember after Money hurt his wrist, that was A&M, so the next week, right? Am I doing this right? It was A&M, so the next week is Florida. It was the last week of non-conference. And so Money moved to day 2 against A&M. And Floyd started the Friday night game. Floyd started game 1 of those SEC series. I think it was A&M. Yeah, that was it. Money got hurt in the last weekend of non-conference. And so they gave him an extra day for the conference opener against A&M. So Floyd started the SEC opener against A&M. And it did not go well. I mean, but you're talking about a guy that at one point this season was starting the opener of the first SEC series. Now hasn't found a role, So, yeah, it'd be great if he could work his way back into it. He's got the stuff. Shane O'Mac, good morning. Hunter, why does Thompson and Doty seem hell-bent on stretching Morgan out every throw? Clint, let's see. Good morning. Shout out to the Lady Tiger Golf Team SC Champs, first 30 years. Yep. Pat Huseman, Larry Garner, Matt Lusto, reminiscent of the series where we took the Lakers to 6 when Kobe had the ankle injury. Chris Paul with Monty, 2010. Love the symmetry. Those were fun times. Yes. 08 was fun. 2010 was fun. 18 was fun when you beat Portland and then took a game off of Steph and Clay and Durant in that series. Donovan Peterson. I'm a little late to the show. Go Pels. Thank you, Donovan. Appreciate you for watching. Let's see, Hunter, the real question, if he continues to master the breaking ball, does that put him back in the weekend rotation? Maybe, Hunter. If you feel like you've got a better chance with Floyd as your game 3 starter, followed by Dutton, Taylor, whatever combo, or that allows you to use Taylor out of the bullpen earlier in the weekend if you can go Floyd Dutton, then yeah. The biggest problem you still have is that you're way too right-handed dominant. The only left-hander you really count on is Riley Cooper. Now, Jay has said they're going to get Jacob Hasty more work, and you need to. You got to give hitters something different to look at. Otherwise, it's BP. You got to come from the left side. You got to change eye levels. You got to change speeds. Hitters in the SEC are too good. So yeah, losing Javen Coleman was huge, but you can't count on one lefty all season at Riley Cooper. It's kind of what they're doing. So if Jacob Hasty can start to give you some innings, good. Bryce Collins, who is a guy with a really good breaking ball. At least that's something that looks different. We know Gervais is 6'10" with that weird arm slot. It looks different. So that's why you got to at least try to change it up like that if you can. Sean Comiskey, I was not an NBA fan for most of this year. The playoffs are always fun. The defense is real, and they let them play. I wish the NCAA would tell these refs to shove the whistle and let them play. Sean, if you've been missing the NBA all year, brother, this is what you're missing. The skill level's so high. There's so much pace and energy. It's a lot of fun, man. It's a very, very good product. Try to tell people that. This isn't the game that Dr. Naismith invented where you have to have your hand on top of the ball and you shoot the layup line. It's a fun, fast, physical, athletic game, man, with a ton of skill. It's a lot of fun to watch. That was Faya. I remember we stole that game in LA with no David West. Ooh, good memory. Strong side. Pat Huseman. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that was another thing. Hunter, I don't blame Morgan. Got pitchers not covering first, second baseman and shortstop can make an accurate throw. Yeah, there were 2 plays last night where the pitcher failed to cover at first. Well, I say that. Sorry. One of them they did review, and I think it was Collins on the mound. They did review, and they ruled. That was a close play. But anyway. Joe and Brian Hanno, good morning. All anyone talked about was Booker's injury. B.I. had a bad hamstring, tweaked his ankle, had a great game, go Pels. I'll reiterate, you should be watching the local broadcast. I did. I did not watch the TNT broadcast. I watched the Valley Sports broadcast, and it was way more enjoyable, and it wasn't any talk at all about Booker's injury. It was about what the Pelicans were doing and what they needed to do to try to win, and Antonio Daniels is magnificent, and Joel's great, and Jen's great, and I would highly recommend watching the local broadcast and not the TNT broadcast. Brian Broom, what's up? Chance Babin, George Costanza's son coming in the portal. I wonder how many people got that yesterday. Chance, I don't even know if you're referring to it, but we did a bit yesterday on AFR about Seven. So Seven Banks is the Ohio State. We did the bit. There was an episode of Seinfeld where George wanted to name his hypothetical child with Susan 7. So you can go YouTube, Seinfeld, or George 7. You'll see it. Randy Dabdu, Brian Wynn. LSU picked up cornerback from Ohio State, transfer 7 Banks. Yeah, man, talked about it. It's actually in the title, the description for today's episode. And we talked about it a lot yesterday. If you missed yesterday, we opened the show talking about it, AFR, and the start of hour 3, I had Bobby Carpenter on. Bobby Carpenter played linebacker at Ohio State. He's on The Fan in 97.1 The Fan. He does mornings in Columbus, Ohio. Talked about it as well. And he said a lot of positive things, man, about Banks. Said, he's big and long and basically in the mold of all the other great corners that have come through Ohio State. Just had a little bit of an injury issue with hip and some other stuff, and maybe just looking for a clean slate for a final year. Rode Yule, 1 win down, 3 to go for 4-0 this week. Okay, Rode, we'll see, man. I hope you're right. Like I don't predict sweeps. I don't predict sweeps, especially when you piece your weekend rotation together and you're the worst defensive team in the SEC and you have not won a home series in league play yet. But nobody would love to see it more than me. Maybe Jay Johnson. Kurt Taylor. I don't say I expect sweeps in SC baseball, but LSU should sweep this weekend. I'm not going to say they should sweep. I'm going to say they can sweep this weekend. Yeah.
Can you listen? Maybe I'm gonna go wash my hair. This last night you saw it a couple times, didn't get to that.
Ah,
Yeah. I was like, I didn't start washing my hair. So,
okay.
can you listen for it?
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, just check this out.
Okay. So checking real quick, Missouri did take a game against Arkansas. They won the series 2 out of 3 at South Carolina. They were swept by Tennessee, but game 3 they lost 4-3, and game 2 they were winning until Tennessee, late in the game, until Tennessee hit a grand slam. They took 2 out of 3 against Kentucky, and now they've got LSU this weekend. So Missouri has been swept twice by Tennessee and by Vanderbilt. But they took a game off of Arkansas. They were darn near took 2 off of Tennessee. But anyway, saying caution, man. Caution talking about should or will sweep. Darren Reeves, Quentin Brakebill, Jared Termine. What tent are you going to be doing your show from at the Zurich? I'm going to be out there Friday. So, Jared, I'm going to be at the Walk-Ons tent. So, we'll be at 17. If you're not familiar, they're doing a new thing at Zurich this year. They've always had like the Acme tent there at 17. This year, they're kind of changing it up with the Walk-Ons tent that's going to be down there. And what they're doing is creating like a human tunnel, basically, for the players to walk through from 17 green to 18 tee. It should be a really cool type thing. I think they're trying to create a little bit of a vibe like at the Waste Management out in Phoenix. So the concept is really cool. So hope to see some of y'all out there. Tim Witten, Joshua Mayu, go Pels. Think we can win at least 2, which is awesome considering where we were in November, no doubt. Ryan, Amanda Guidry, Blake Betts, flock up. Do you think this is the best spot the organization has been? Depth, great coach, 2 all-star players, future looks bright. They actually have 3 all-star players, Blake. Not only do you have Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, but you also have Zion Williamson, who is an all-star. And not only that, but you're going to get a top 10 pick. You're the only team in the playoffs this year that's going to have a top 10 pick. So, yeah, I mean, aside from, I would say, 2008, when you had Chris Paul and David West, you had your Crescent City connection. Yeah, Page of bombing threes. Yeah, I mean, look, Drew Holiday and Anthony Davis. I mean, that was a really good combo, but they were obviously another star player away from being able to compete in the West. I mean, they were certainly in the top half of the West, but they weren't on Golden State's level. Who was at that point? But I mean, you take this group, you add Zion, who's 27 and 10 every night. You add that guy who's so explosive and can get you a bucket anytime, and you add a top 10 pick to, come on. Shit. Deborah Coward, good morning. Let's see. Jared, wait, you aren't allowed to do companion shows anymore? I thought you were just waiting for later in the season. Nope, not allowed to do them. Guarantee renegotiated their contract with LSU Sports Properties to be the flagship of LSU athletics. LSU put it in the contract, no companion shows, because they feel like we're competing with their broadcast. Shelby, when was the last time an 8 seed beat a 1? It was when Golden State beat Dallas. It was Golden State, Dallas, 2007. Ooh, never mind. The 8 seed Grizzlies beat the Spurs in 2011. 07 is what I was thinking. When the Warriors were in 8, they beat the 1 seed Mavericks. That was 07, but it happened in 11. Grizzlies beat the Spurs. I forgot about that one. All right, shout out to Brock, y'all. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, you need an orthopedist. Go see our friends at Brock. Need a roof? Call Hudco. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Jerry DeLucky, good morning. Pels have Nola jumping. Yes, sir. Shelby, I don't have passion for basketball like I do baseball and football, but NBA playoffs are amazing. The refs allow guys to get mobbed, and I love it. The regular season in the NBA is like that too. It's fun. Not get mobbed, but they let them play. It's an offensive game. They want it to be an offensive game. You don't have 100 whistles in the game stopping the flow of the action. You let the greatest athletes in the world be the greatest athletes in the world and entertain. It's a lot of fun. Kyle Perez, I enjoy the NBA because of the pace. I know I'm only locked in for 2 hours or so. Bingo. Shelby, Antonio Daniels, fantastic his job. He is. Chance, will the Pelicans have earlier start times in NOLA? Yes. They were local Pacific start times. It's a tough thing when you're playing a team on the West Coast because they want to get the Pacific primetime crowd. So that's kind of part of what you're going to deal with whenever you play on the West Coast. You're generally going to get later times in the later starts in the central time zone because of that. So Friday is 8:30 Central, so it's a little bit earlier. It's not 9, but it's a late tip, but it's not 9 o'clock. I don't know if Game 4. I think Game 4 might be the same, actually. Yeah, 3 and 4 both 8:30. Let's see. Kyle Milliken, Saints need Debo. That would be the type of game breaker they need, yes. But here's the problem. You're going to have to pay for him. You draft that guy, you have him on a rookie deal for 5 years. Cliff, floor seats Friday night at the Blender. Look at my guy. I love it. Dude, where's the invite, man? Kidding. Only half kidding. Strong side, what's the story with Quan? Is he going to the Jets? Went up there for a visit. It's pretty obvious, man. Quan signed basically a rookie or a veteran minimum deal last year because he was coming off an Achilles tear and nobody was going to give him a contract. So it was a 1-year prove it type deal, and he got hurt again. So I'm sure he has a number in mind that he wants, and the Saints aren't willing to give it to him because he's injury prone. 7 years in the league, Quan's played 1 full season. It was his 2nd year in the league in Tampa. I mean, I want him on the team, but on a similar deal to last year. You can't give Quan Alexander any type of length or guarantees because he's never been healthy. You just can't, especially when you used a 2nd-round pick last year on Pete Warner. So I'd love to have Quan back, but it's got to be at the right price. Hang on 1 second. Drew's backpack's beat back. Let's see, a couple more. We're 8:12. Yeah, Drew's. I think I mentioned Drew's out of school. Drew and Eric are both out of school this week, so I don't have to rush out here to get Drew to school. So we've been a little bit longer here in the mornings. Let's see. LSU has a Korean kid from Texas that's committed. He's a pitcher and a shortstop. His name is MJ. Hey, look. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I know everything about every kid that Jay Johnson's recruited. What I do know is you go look at the rankings, they have the best class. That was actually yesterday talking to a scout who said his class is really impressive. The question is, like, are these guys going to show up? Like, he may lose 40% of his class to the draft. So it's less about the guys that got committed. It's more about who he can get to show up on campus. Tim Gotro, good morning. Sorry I'm late. What did I miss? Nothing, Tim. Just scroll back and watch from the beginning. Let's see. Chris Nelson, morning. BI playing grown man ball. Wish you could have gotten the triple W's close, man. Kyle Milliken, Travinsky is a bad catcher. Defensively, he is, and so is McManus. I mean, neither of them are good defensive catchers. But I think McManus right now is, I hate to say the lesser of two evils. It just sounds so bad, but you understand my point. And swing a little more consistent bat. You have less swing and miss with McManus, and you have pop. So let's see. Hunter, we have a lefty committed that touches 97. I pray he ends up on campus. Lefties at their 97 usually don't end up on campus. But I hope so. I'm with you. EJ Cambry, what's up? You think of the Saints. Whoops. You think if Saints sign Landry, it'll help pushing signing with Tyron? No. Tyron would want to come here. The problem is money. Like, he wants he wants to be the highest paid safety in the NFL, and the Saints aren't going to do that. So it's the money. What's the market for it? Chance Babin, are you doing a companion show for the NFL draft? Yes. So we have been announcing that. So our draft coverage is presented by Rouse's and will be live from Don Juan Cigar Bar. So a week from tomorrow, first round of the draft. You know, we've done this companion show now for the draft for 5 years or so, taking it back on the road. So it will be all of our staff. I think Hester and T-Bob will start it off at 7. Hunt and Hill will be there. I'll be there. We're working on Zoom capabilities so we can get other people to join us via Zoom, even if they're not on site. So hopefully y'all join us as well. If you can't be, come out to Don Juan if you can for the first round of the draft. But if you can't be at Don Juan, no worries. Come join us. Join us on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. We'll be there. Let's see. How is Southern Miss baseball ranked higher than LSU? I think Southern Miss is a better team than LSU right now. And Southern Miss has 2 players from Louisiana that would start for LSU right now, including what's his name, Hall, their pitcher, who would have given an arm to play at LSU, and Nolan didn't want him. The story I heard was like he played lacrosse or something like that, and so he wasn't into baseball all year, so they thought he was just too thin and he didn't throw hard enough. And there were people who tried to tell him, yeah, but when he's not playing lacrosse and the season ends, you get him in a weight training program, he's gonna gain 20 pounds and throw mid-90s, and it's exactly what happened. Hang on, I'll tell you his name right now. Oh my God. Someone probably is going to post his name, but that was Hall. Tanner Hall. That's it. Tanner Hall from Zachary. There's Tanner Hall. Said he's landed Marceau. A scout told me Tanner Hall's landed Marceau. He's pitching to Southern Miss because LSU didn't want it. Ray Woods, been a few weeks since I've been able to tune in. What's the latest game point? Awesome. Had a board called yesterday. We're looking at the wireframes that are continuously being built out. So that's basically what the platform is going to look like as you navigate through it. Looks awesome. The artist that we have designing a lot of the first round of NFTs was on the call as well. Everything looks so good, man. We're pushing. I mean, it's one of our board members put it this way. Said we're working under the hood, which is a great way to put it. Every single day, and there's a lot of progress. Also, did a deal with another very prominent football player that's going to be announced probably Monday. Good stuff, man. I mean, it's just hang on until the platform's launched late Q2, beginning of Q3, so sometime June, July, we should be fully launched. And when we are, then I think you're going to see it pop off again, because that's when all of the ambassador athletes we have will actually have their tokens and their NFTs live on the platform that they can then go promote to their community. So Matt Corral becomes a first-round draft pick. In June, July, he reports for camp for whoever drafts him, and then he can promote to all the fans. Hey, you want my NFT? Here it is. Go buy them game one. Okay. So, yes. It's exciting, man. It's all going to be very, 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 very fun this summer. Kyle DeVille, don't know your stance on USFL. Saw the breakers, and aside from the camera angles, they played a good game. Kyle, I'm just not interested. I probably would be if they were playing the games in the home markets instead of playing all the games in Birmingham. But if they legit got 3 million viewers for the opening weekend, good for them. I mean, that's a very strong statement. Now, can they maintain that? That's always been the challenge. Shelby, you know who's not a bad defensive catcher? Milazzo. I don't know if you talked about that before or not. LOL. Let's see. Herb Jones, a really good player. Do you remember him at Alabama when he played LSU? Yes, absolutely. Mark, when's the spring football game? This Saturday for LSU. Saturday. Daniel Sinetz, what's up? Brett Loop, scam coin. You know, the only thing that I ever push back on, I'd never tell anybody to what they should invest in at all. But that's the kind of thing that does piss me off. Like, when you say it's a scam or it's a rug pull, it's based out of nothing but ignorance. Like, you know nothing about it, Brett, clearly, and you don't know the amount of money and time and energy and effort that people have put into building this thing out and doing it right. You're probably someone who knows nothing about crypto. Someone told you to buy it, so you did. A lot of people got that paper hands and sold, price dipped, and so you call it a scam. You're the idiot who I push back against. I don't care if anybody buys the token or not. You may look at it, not believe in the utility, and that's fine. That's part of crypto. There's a lot of projects that I'll never invest in just because I don't like it. That's okay. And that's fine. But when you run around calling someone a scam or a rug pull, like, that's where I get pissed off, because essentially you're telling me that I'm scamming people. When multiple times a week since August, I've been on hours-long calls. I've donated my own time for no pay because I believe in the utility. I've watched a good man like David Mailer put a buttload of his own money into this project to continue building it out, and has made nothing on it, obviously. His wallet and the other founder, Frankie Batto, their wallets are locked for 2 years. Couldn't sell a token even if they wanted to sell a token. People keep pointing out the charitable donations. It's on the blockchain, brother. You can go look. The charity wallet, nothing has been sold from it in months and months and months. The charitable donations are coming directly from David Mailer's bank accounts. He's the one who is bankrolling the whole thing and the charities. So when you call it a scam, check yourself with all of your bullshit. Excuse me, I know it's morning Scone. We're not supposed to curse here. But that's the one thing that really pisses me off, because you know nothing. You know absolutely nothing. And you're lobbing out slanderous allegations and accusations against good people. I don't care if you buy the coin or not. I don't care if you invest in the token or the project or you hate it, you think it's stupid, that's fine. But if you're gonna call it a scam, you better come correct. And I'm telling you, you're gonna lose. All that does, crap like that, all it does is fuel the people that are working every day on it to go even harder for the people who are invested, and to make morons like that look like the jackass that they are. Freaking coward. No, nothing coward. Eric Wilder, morning, Matt. If we go past May 1 transfer deadline in football, would that limit our target to grad transfers only? I mean, well, keep in mind, Eric, not every league has the. So May 1, yes, probably. But remember, the SEC has the deadline for intra-conference transfers. But like, look at what you just did with Seven Banks. I mean, you went outside of the conference. But yes, probably grad transfers, and you're looking for probably 1-year guys anyway. D, hopefully Island Haney will be part of the draft show this year. Let's hope. Adam Fontenot, anywhere in BR, simulcast the Pels radio call. No, I know it's hard to get 100.3 in Baton Rouge. There's spots of Baton Rouge where you can hear it, but not everywhere. So see if you can stream it. I don't know if they stream the audio of the games. That's something I should know, but I don't. Kevin Thomas, good morning. Have a great day, Matt. You too, Kevin. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. Mark, was last night the last Wally Pontiff Classic? Yes. Wally's brother Nick Pontiff was on AFR a couple days ago. We always have him on. He comes on, promotes the game and everything. Basically, two things happened. One, they played the game at Zephyr Field forever. Well, whenever the Zephyrs or the Baby Cakes left, and New Orleans didn't get another minor league franchise, they converted the Shrine on Airline to a rugby stadium for the Nola Gold. So it's not configured for baseball. So they didn't have a venue to hold the game. LSU is allowed them to use the box this year, but financially, LSU can't give up that home game every year, and they don't want to ask. The other thing too, and Nick told us, is that there was a woman who'd worked on the foundation on the Classic from the onset who died last year due to COVID complications. So that was a tough blow for everyone involved, and obviously a lot of the organization and planning. So the foundation is staying active, and they're going to come up with new fundraising ideas and fundraising opportunities. But the Wally Pontiff Classic game is last night would be the last one. So, okay, y'all, we are done. Y'all have an awesome day. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Need an orthopedist, go to BrockBROrtho.com. And Hudco, I would love it if y'all would let us come do a free, no obligation roofing inspection. Look, Folsom, Tangipahoa, Denham, even parts of Baton Rouge last week had hail. If that was you, give us a shout. Let us come out and give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. We'll let you know if you have hail damage. Way better to replace a roof and file a claim on your wind hail deductible than on a named storm deductible. Usually it's higher, so this is a great opportunity to take advantage of, but obviously if you had damage, it's better, more financially better for you. to do it now than wait for a name storm. So the more you know. All right, y'all have an awesome day. Thanks as always for watching. We'll get an LSU Daily up here in a bit and an AFR3. We'll see you. Peace.